Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Inspired and Empowered Living TV show and podcast. We are live Tuesday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern on talk4tv.com, w4wn.com, and my YouTube channel. I'd like to welcome you all. And today, we will be talking about reducing relationship stress during the holidays. Are there some people in your life that you are not looking forward to seeing during the holidays? Find out how to manage your relationship stress to live an inspired and empowered life. You can also learn 3 principles to boost your self-care and be more centered and calmer during the holidays, how to deal more effectively with difficult people, and discover the number one mistake that would keep you from having healthier relationships. And I invite you always to ask your questions and make your comments in the chat room. Together, let's create a life you love. And Country Corners Gazette, happy Thanksgiving. Yes. In America, for those of you who may be out of our country, we are going to be celebrating Thanksgiving in a couple of days. So I'm wishing all of you Americans happy Thanksgiving. And I know Canadians have Thanksgiving on another day. I don't know if other countries do, so you can let me know. I would love to find out more. I'm your host, Nanci Deutsch, licensed clinical social worker, certified hypnotherapist, and intuitive breakthrough expert. I combine my counseling, coaching, and intuitive abilities to transform people's lives so that they and you can live an inspired and empowered life. This show is not a replacement for counseling or therapy. It is for educational purposes only. So before I jump into today's show, I want to answer questions from last week's show. Now, I don't know exactly who it was that asked these questions, but I want to make sure that these questions get answered. So a question from last week's show was, what do you mean by attached to an outcome? Isn't that hoping for what you want? So last week's show, what we were talking about is listening to your heart's truth and being able to listen to your heart's truth and then manifest your desires. But what I was saying is that if you are attached to an outcome, you may keep away the very thing that you want. So the way that I'm defining attached to an outcome is on an energetic level. You are so attached to it being a certain way, to being a certain person, or having a certain job. And to be able to actually put it in the universe's hands, God's hands, whatever you want to call that higher power or higher intelligence. And when you put it in their hands, it actually, you're surrendering to your highest and greatest good. And ultimately, that's what you want. So it's about learning how to surrender and not be attached to it having to be your way, but allow the universe to let the miracles unfold. And if you have more questions about that, please feel free to ask. And then the last question from last week that I didn't get to was, do we choose our best outcome? So what I want to say is, bottom line is that I'm going to say we have the ability to work on what we want to manifest. And ultimately, what ends up happening is we either manifest what it was we want, or it could even be better than what we thought, or it may not be time yet. And so ultimately, the way it works is the divine or higher power or God or whatever you want to call it is basically looking out for your best interests. Now, sometimes you end up manifesting what you want. And then have you ever had a time where you manifested what you thought you want, and then you were like, oh, maybe this really isn't what I want, or it isn't what I thought I wanted. And then it's a learning opportunity. So it can work several ways. But I will tell you that we're going to get more into manifesting and looking to manifest in the upcoming weeks. And I will share more about how to support you in manifesting your greatest dreams for 2024. So stay tuned. And we said, Misty said, the hard thing is we think we know what we want until we get it. Exactly, Misty. And that's sometimes why it's better to surrender the outcome and let the universe step in. You have some kind of intention of what you want, and then you can say equal or better. And then the universe can give you that your highest and greatest good. So let's get into reducing relationship stress. So if any of you feel stressed about certain people, so what can you do to help you reduce that? Misty says, not easy giving up the control. Okay, Misty, I totally agree with you. It's not so easy giving up control when our ego wants that control. And part of your healing and part of the journey is learning to surrender the control. And listen, that's part of the healing. And it's a big part of the healing. And it takes practice and it takes practice and it takes trust, and learning to trust yourself more, learning to trust God, the universe, higher power more and more. And as you heal and as you're on the journey of healing, that's what happens. And so it's going to be a process and a journey of letting go of control so that you can manifest your highest and greatest good. What are we putting the trust in? So we're putting the trust in something greater than ourselves. And it's what I talk about your higher self, that higher aspect of you. It's a wise, unconditionally loving you. And then there's the soul, your soul, which is your energy essence. And there is the higher power, God, universe, higher power, whatever you want to call it, and learning to trust that more. Is that wandering blind? No. Okay, so what I want you to realize is that when you surrender, or when you surrender your outcomes to that higher power, it doesn't mean that you just totally not take actions. What you're going to be doing is taking the actions guided by your intuition. So your intuition will guide you. And so you're not working blind. You're actually being guided by something greater than yourself, which will lead you to your outcomes. And I want to bring it to today's thing that we're talking about, which is relationship stress and how to reduce it. So here's the thing. There are certain people that you may feel excited to meet, and certain people you're like, ooh, I really don't want to see them, but they're part of the family. So what do? Well, this is how you take your power back from that energy. Because what happens? Okay, first thing I need to do is um, describe my Psych 101 lesson, and then reaction versus response. So I will I'll get to that question shortly. Okay. So what happens is you have your conscious mind. This is the three minds. And I like to talk about this so that I can make this information about relationship stress easier and understandable. So you have your conscious mind, and your conscious mind is the one that makes those conscious decisions, the one that chose to be here. Thank you for joining, and I'm grateful to you. Talk about Thanksgiving. I'm grateful to all of you who listen live and who listen later. So I am grateful to all of you. And that's your conscious mind making a conscious decision. And your conscious mind is really an important part of your mind to help you become more inspired and empowered. Your subconscious mind is the part of you from the moment that you were conceived to present time, has recorded every moment of your life. And there are limiting beliefs and emotions that stop you from creating the life you want. And your job is to be able to understand and learn what's going on in your subconscious mind so that you can work and consciously make a decision to uncover the blocks to help you to keep moving forward towards your inspired and empowered life. Also in your subconscious mind are ancestral resources and trauma and past life resources and trauma. What I mean by that is that you have all your gifts and all your challenges, all are there in the subconscious mind. And then you have your superconscious mind, which is the part of you that it's the part of you that is the higher aspects. It's your higher self, that part I was talking about before, that wise, unconditionally loving part of you. It is you, your soul, the core energy essence of who you are. It's your guides and your angels and loved ones on the other side. And it's the energy of light and love and God, Goddess, universe, whatever you want to call it. That's all your superconscious mind. Now, all of them are connected, but I want to separate them out so it becomes more understandable and clear for the sake of our discussion today. So, when I'm going to distinguish response and reaction. When you have a reaction to a person, place, or thing, or something in your life, you're reacting, when you have that emotional trigger, like you start feeling really angry or frustrated from the person that you're connected with, somebody you may be seeing or don't want to see over the holidays, or someone that may be an intimidator, and it brings up fear in you. Or maybe there's thinking about the holidays brings up grief because all the people that you miss. So there's different stressors that create that stress. When you're in reaction, you're in your subconscious mind. When you are responding and making a decision that either if someone is triggering you, then you can say, you know what? I'm going to choose to put this on hold and not react and learn and deal with it later in my own space and time. So you have made a response not to react. You made a choice, which empowers you. Remember, going back to the control, no one has control over you. And when you take your power back, you empower yourself to be more present, to have fun at your family meal or friends or whatever situation you're in. It's making the choice to have a good time no matter what or who is there. So, and the question I know is, what if we are not in touch with our intuition? So our intuition, if you're not in touch with it, then that is something that I will definitely be continuing to share with you, how to become more in touch with it. And I have some programs and things that will be coming up over the holiday, not over the holidays, after the holidays, that we'll be talking about will help you also. Because everything that I talk about and all the ways that I support you is all about intuition. And intuition, and I'm just going to say that everybody has intuition. Okay. And also, when you're dealing with people in the stressful situations and dealing and navigating the holidays, you definitely want to be trusting your intuition. So your intuition is something that everybody has. Okay. You may be a feeler. Maybe you get the gut feelings or the God goosebumps, or maybe you're what I call an empath, where you'll be fine and then you walk into a situation, a party or a gathering, and you start feeling angry or fearful. You may be picking up other people's feelings. Maybe you're a Noah, getting that aha. Maybe you see, you're clairvoyant. Maybe you hear and you're clairaudient. So all of these are ways that your intuition comes. And part of the journey is to be able to learn how to trust your intuition more. Now, the meditation that I have can help you work with your intuition. So, Rebel, the link for that is the inspiredandempoweredliving.com meditation. And that meditation can help you work on clearing your energy, connecting more deeply to your higher self, and tuning in to your intuition. So I definitely recommend this will be a good start for you. If you're not in touch with your intuition, or you want to grow your intuition, or you want to take your intuition to the next levels, this meditation can help you do that. So go to inspiredandempoweredliving.com /meditation. Meditation. It's the name of the show, inspiredandempoweredliving.com/meditation. And if you want to learn more about how to tap into your intuition, definitely get the meditation. It can help you. So, and intuition can guide you every step of the way. It can guide you during the holiday season. It can guide you in relationships. Everything I do, and I would say every decision I make, I tap into my intuition. I notice, what am I feeling? How am I doing? What feels good to me? And so when you are dealing with people, remember, ultimately, you have the power to take your power back, and you're in control of how you are with others. So, the first thing that you need to do to release extra stress around certain relationships that might be the stress that certain relationships might be causing you, or even relationships that are great. We're people, and, and we all have our stuff. And maybe when someone you care about what happens is you need to be able to ask yourself, what do I need to do? Okay, this is the important question. What do I need to do to take care of myself around this person or in this situation? And that is going to be a really important question for you to ask, because you want to make sure that you're doing the self-care that will support you through this holiday season. Now, some of you may absolutely love the holidays, and yet you still may get a little stressed. And some of you may dread the holidays and may have more and more stress. And some of you, maybe it's like, all right, whatever. But the most important thing that you need to keep asking yourself, or I would support you in asking yourself, is, what can I do to take care of myself in this situation or with this person? Because asking yourself that question is the first level of self-care and supporting yourself. Now, if you get triggered by a person, and when I say triggered, I mean you have an emotional reaction, whether it's somebody you're going to see or something that happens during the holiday dinner, and you notice that you are getting triggered and reacting, the first thing that I'm going to support you in doing is taking a breath. Okay, and doing self-talk. Taking a breath and doing self-talk. When you take a breath and do the self-talk, you go into that ability to respond rather than react. Now, if somebody's triggering you and all of a sudden you're reacting and you snap back, or you go into fear, what you want to do is you want to work on coming back and bringing your composure back to breathe and to allow yourself. Now, if there are any questions coming in around any of this, let me know. So what usually happens? Why do you get triggered? What happens? So okay, Misty asked, the question is, can a person recognize what the trigger is and be aware of it? So, yes. Well, here's the thing. What happens is you may not be aware of what the issue is in the moment, but if you can be aware of the emotion and step back. So, for example, if you are feeling like, take Suzette. Suzette was in a relationship, and when Davy would say certain things, Suzette would react. And she would get really angry really quickly. And so what I supported Suzette to do would be to notice, okay, I'm reacting to Davy now. I'm reacting to his comment. Let me breathe. And what do I choose? How do I choose to respond in this moment? And it may be that you may not want to say a word, because you know that if you say something, you will later regret it. I'll get to that, Misty. So you want to be able to learn how to step back. And I know Misty says, now you can put it up, Rebel. Misty says, it's not easy to step back and adjust in real time. And Misty, yes, that is so true. It is so true. When you are being triggered in real time, it can be really challenging to be aware and then to choose not to react. And what I'm supporting you in doing is first starting to be aware. All right, starting to be aware of how you can then, so that you can take the steps to not react. Now, you may react in this time around, and then now that we're talking about this on the show, you may react, and then you may want to start trying to understand what the issue is and what that person triggered in you. Now, with Suzette, what was triggered when David would say some things in a certain tone of voice, she realized it was just like her father. And her father was very controlling and very critical and very mean at times. And so when Davy would say certain things in a certain tone of voice, it triggered her father. It triggered that issue of feeling that she was going to be judged or criticized. And sometimes Davy was doing that. Sometimes he wasn't. So it's learning to, the first step, your assignment over the holidays, even if you can't step back in that moment, is to become aware. What just got triggered? What am I feeling right now? What am I feeling in reaction to what this person is doing or saying? Now, ideally, if you can learn to breathe and step back And you may not know what the issue is. You're at a holiday dinner. You may not figure it out till afterwards. That's fine. It's learning to take that breath. Take a few deep breaths. As soon as you notice some kind of trigger, whether it's anger, fear, frustration, whether someone's trying to guilt you. I have clients that get guilted. Oh, come on, come to my holiday dinner for the holidays. And your intuition is like, nope, no, I really like, maybe they're an acquaintance. And they're really not somebody you want to visit for the holidays. You know intuitively that that's not going to work for you. And I'm going to support you in listening to your intuition. So yes, you're right. It's not easy to do it in real time. And know that you can do it, and it takes practice. So should we listen, Country Corners Gazette, should we listen to our knee-jerk reactions or think things out? Think things out. What happens very often in those knee-jerk reactions, that's the reactions that I'm talking about. Listen, I know what it's like. I know what it's like to react in the moment. And I can't tell you that I've totally mastered this, what I'm teaching, but I'm still working on it too. And what may end up happening, like, for example, is you notice that you're in a situation, someone's triggering you, you have a knee-jerk reaction. If you can breathe and take time to think things out, go to the bathroom, calm yourself down. That's what you want to do. Because when you are in reaction, you have actually gone and regressed to an earlier state. Okay, so I'll get to that in a second. I'll get to that. So what you want to do is you want to take a time out. If you need to leave the table, if you notice that you're getting upset and you need to leave the table, leave the table. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself in that moment. And then you can think things out. What I'm going to support you is not doing the knee-jerk reactions, because those knee-jerk reactions can get you into trouble. You may say or do things that you later regret. When I'm working with clients, I am always saying, like with Suzette and Davy, when they came to me and we started working together, and when they would get angry, I would say, you both take a time out before you come back to connect and talk. Now, if you're at a holiday dinner and this is a relative that you don't particularly care about, or you don't know if you'll see or when you'll see, it may not be about communicating with them. It may be you taking care of yourself and not doing something you would later regret and then beat yourself up for. So that's what I'm supporting you in doing. This is self-care, really important self-care. So let's see. And okay, what would thinking things out not be listening to intuition? Not necessarily so. So here's the thing. When you are having a knee-jerk reaction and you are in reaction, okay, you're not in calm or peace or joy or love, because those are the states of where intuition comes through, or gratitude. Joy, peace, love, gratitude. That's the higher states of consciousness. Those are the states of your superconscious mind. And those are the states that you want to be in to listen to your intuition. Very often it comes in the places of calm and peace so that you can hear the still small voice or you can feel the gut feeling. Now, some people have learned, and I know I have too, to be able to listen to their gut in a moment. But if you haven't, it's again part of the process, the journey. Now, so it would be thinking things out when you're talking about relationships, especially holiday dinners. I vote for thinking things out. Okay, that's what I'm going to support you all in doing. So, thank you. All right, and thinking things out very well may be part of your intuitive process. The most important thing is you learning, and I know it's not always easy, it's learning to become aware and learning not to react in the moment. So then you can then figure out what's next. The next question, how can we gain control of feelings and emotions in the heat of the moment? So the first thing is, and again, I'm not saying this is an easy task, but I'm saying you can do it. And even if you didn't do it in this moment, I'm really wanting to encourage you and support you. I believe in you that you can learn how to do this, even in the heat of the moment. There's actually a 10 breath or 10-second gap they teach with anger management. So if you are in a situation and someone is triggering you in the heat of the moment and your first instinct is, rah, you want to react and you get really angry, I am going to say, I'm going to really support you to count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe. 4, 5. Breathe. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And keep breathing. And if you need to remove yourself from that table or from that situation, from that conversation, then do it. Go to the bathroom, take a walk, go to another room. Ask yourself, what do I need to do to take care of myself in this situation or with this person? So it's learning. I'm going to support you even if you don't do it this time. This is a learning opportunity. A learning opportunity for you to start becoming aware when you've been triggered. Now, you listening to this show now, you may not have been aware before. And now, from listening to the show, again, I really want to acknowledge you for being here and asking questions or listening. Really want to acknowledge you because you are doing what you need to do to keep getting better and healthier and working on having a more inspired and empowered life. So thank you. And if you react in the heat of the moment, even if you react and then you realize, oh my God, I'm reacting, and you can calm yourself down. Having that moment of awareness, if you can not react and learn to think things out in that moment, take a breath. count to 10, go to the bathroom, take a time out. Nanci says, take a time out. You can wear me on your shoulder. I have clients that say they hear me in their ear. So take a time out. You don't have to react. And if someone, because some people they poke you. They poke you to trigger you. And you actually taking your power back, you're like, nope, not going to be triggered. And you know what? They get more upset and they get frustrated because you're not reacting to them. Sometimes that can happen. It depends on the person. And if you're not reacting and you choose response, and even being calm, having a calm voice in a fiery situation can de-escalate, because here's what happens. If you react with anger to someone who's already angry, it can escalate. And it escalates, and then both of you may regret it, or you may regret it, saying or doing things that you would rather have not. And Misty says, good stuff. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, Misty. And I'm really hoping that you all, take little tidbits to really help you, to support you in having a happier holiday. When you feel more empowered around those people, where you used to feel disempowered or controlled or upset by, and you take your power back, because when you don't react, that's you empowering yourself to a whole new level. And Anastasia, thank you. Good advice. Happy Thanksgiving. And so we're going to talk more about reducing relationship stress and all kinds of help in terms of helping you to reduce your stress and your relationship stress during the holiday season. And I want to let you know we'll continue to talk about this next week on the show. And I will invite you to let me know how it goes. I really want to hear how your Thanksgiving goes. And let me know, if you reacted, or if you were able to respond, or if are there any questions that come up for you from this show. Definitely want to hear more about how it goes. And so I want to wish you all, remember to join me next week. Tune in for more inspired and empowered living next Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern on talk4tv.com, w4wn.com, and my YouTube channel. And you can find the podcasts on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, Apple, Amazon, and more. And I want to wish you an inspired and empowered day, a very, very, very happy Thanksgiving. And again, I'm grateful to all of you who are joining me live, and to all of you who are listening. Thank you for being here. And have an inspired and empowered week. Have a great one, and bye for now.